Hey everybody, this is Dr. Daniel Davila, chiropractor with DuPage Pain Management in Willowbrook, Illinois. In this video, I want to share some thoughts that I've been sharing with friends, family members, and patients of mine regarding the current coronavirus pandemic, what we can learn from it, what we need to do for ourselves, and how we can best protect ourselves now and in the future from any kind of acute illness, infectious disease that may go around in our community and our society. Now, obviously, as a physician, as a father myself, a husband, I'm concerned about what's going on as well. But when we really stop and take objective stock of what is happening right now, we've got to break it down to what is it that we can actually do, what actions can we take to protect ourselves. And if we really stop and think about what's happening right now, we look at the news coming out of countries like Italy, what's happening here in the United States, the potential risks that we face as a country, it basically boils down to what do we need to do to take care of ourselves with our daily habits. The reality is, if we ask the question, what has changed since this coronavirus pandemic started to keep ourselves healthy and to keep ourselves protected, the answer is really nothing. Nothing has changed. We still need to be doing the same things we can to protect ourselves and to take responsibility for ourselves as individuals to stay healthy. So what does that look like? Well, it means we need to make sure that we're eating a proper diet. Right now we need to make especially sure that we're avoiding things like refined carbohydrates, processed sugar, seed oils, industrial oils, things like canola oil, corn oil, soybean oil. Why? Because very simply, our diet dictates the level of inflammation that we have in our body. And if we are chronically eating things that do not agree with us because they are overly processed, man-made chemicals, well, we cause inflammation in our body that interferes with our immune system's function. So very simply, we need to eliminate those things or minimize them as much as possible now and always if we want to maintain optimal health. Another very important thing is we need to make sure that we are exercising. The fact of the matter is, when you are exercising, when you are training, you should be doing it with the goal in mind that you are basically making yourself harder to kill. As as extreme as that might sound, you're developing cardiovascular endurance, you're developing muscle strength, you're developing adaptability, resilience to stress, and you're doing these things precisely because you cannot avoid stress. You cannot avoid illness. It's going to happen at some point. And so the only thing you can do is make sure that you are as fortified, as resilient as possible, so when it comes around, you are as protected as possible. Another very important thing, we want to make sure we're keeping our vitamin D levels in check. The sunshine vitamin, the sunshine hormone, it is incredibly important for preventing infectious diseases, as well as making sure that if we do develop a respiratory illness like coronavirus or others, we are more protected, we are more likely to have a less severe course of it, and we're going to come out better on the other end than if we did not take the time to make our vitamin D level sufficient. What is a sufficient vitamin D level? Well, you got to get your blood levels checked on a routine basis. You want to make sure you're keeping it at 50 nanomoles per liter or more. That's what you need to be sufficient and take care of your body, including your immune system. Another very important thing, we need to make sure we're keeping adequate rest and sleep as part of our daily habits. Depending on whose literature you read, everybody needs to be somewhere in the range of 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. But more than that, it's the quality of the hours of your sleep that matter. You want to make sure you're practicing good sleep hygiene. So what does that look like? In your bedroom, you want to make sure you're keeping it at a comfortable temperature. You want to make sure you're blacking out as much of the room as possible. Get blackout curtains if you can. Do not allow electronic devices in your bedroom if you can help it. Keep your phone, everything else outside of the bedroom. Really, the only two things you should be using your bedroom for are sleep and sex, to put it bluntly. Those are the only things should be happening in your bedroom, so it should stay as dark as possible, as much as possible when you're using it for sleep in particular. Another very important thing is that we want to make sure that as a chiropractor, we understand the importance of spinal health, good posture, good spinal alignment. Look, put very simply, if you do not have good spinal alignment, if you do not have good spinal function, your brain and your body are not communicating effectively, and that leaves you more susceptible to illness, injury, and pain, to put it bluntly. So you want to make sure you have that in order. You need to work with a chiropractor on a regular basis from birth all the way through the course of your life if you want to be as healthy and resilient as possible. And then the last thing is we need to make sure that we're managing our minds, we're managing our stress levels, because the mind has a very significant impact on the body and vice versa. They are not separate entities. They have to work together. And if you're buying into the hysteria right now, you're buying into the fear, the paranoia, and you're not managing your mind effectively, you are going to find yourself more susceptible to illness and injury, especially when normal life resumes and you're back to being surrounded by other people and you're doing your normal work stress. So at the end of the day, as I said, nothing has changed. Despite what's happening with the coronavirus pandemic and the hysteria around it, we still need to make sure that we are taking accountability for ourselves, that we are making sure we've got these things in order with our daily routines, the way we're eating, exercising, sleeping, vitamin D levels getting adjusted regularly, managing our stress levels, because these are the only things that really protect us and keep us healthy at the end of the day. You know, medical treatments are great for emergencies, and you know, at the end, if you happen to get this disease and you have a severe course of it, you're going to be lucky that you're here in the United States where we have a great emergency healthcare system. But in order to get your health back on track and optimize it, you need to make sure that you're taking account of your daily habits, managing them appropriately, and getting help when necessary. So I wanted to share that with you all because I think it's important people realize that objectively, this is what needs to happen. We need to take care of ourselves now and always, and our families as well. And as parents, we need to lead by example doing these things so that our kids know how to do it for themselves when they get older. All right, I want to share this message with you all because I think it's more important than ever. If you have any questions or comments about this, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Please hit the like button, the share button so that other people can hear this important message. Have a great day and take care of yourselves.